Hi, I'm Cody Alexander with MatchQuarters.com. Today we're going to be talking about the Mars path and the Venus path. Now, these are the same path, but a different presentation. Mars tells the Mike linebacker, you're going to go ahead and stay in that middle. You're going to give him a 4-1 box, and then we're going to attack the center. Whereas Venus is a simulated pressure. So Mars is more of a creeper, replacement pressure. Venus is going to be more of a simulated pressure from a 5-0 front. And with the Venus front, you can really give them any kind of the offense. You can give them any kind of presentation that you would like. So you can give an overload. You could use one of the NFL fronts that are famous through the Saban system. You could give just a regular, what I call a jet mug, which is 5 3s, and then mug that Mike linebacker. But the path is the same. So it's nice to be able to have something that you can use as a creeper or you can use as a simulated pressure. So let's dig into some film. So the first path that we're going to talk about is the even Mars path. And in the Georgia terms, even just means that you're going to have 5s and 3s. I call it a jet front. Some people call it a fly front. Whatever you call it, you can get in it. You can run this from an even front. And the reason why a lot of people run from an even front, it just makes it really easy for those 3 techniques to get to cop, which is just contained pressure. And it also kind of just widens everything out. It really allows you to float the center, which is kind of put him on, I call it float because you're putting him on an island. What this does in Mars is you're basically saying, look, we're going to give a regular 4-1 presentation versus a 10 personnel look. So here the Mike's just going to align right on top of the center like he normally would. He could kind of shade to the back if you were more of a man team. The base way of running this in the Saban system is with cover 5, which is just 2-man. The nice thing about these 4-man pressures is that you can do almost anything with them because you have regular 7-man distribution. It's really up to how athletic your DNs are and how you want to do this. So in this instance with 2-man, the DN to the running back is going to end up taking the running back, if he goes, is on what's called a hug rush, and then he's going to trace him across. And all trace just means is if that back were to come across, he would then trace back inside. If you wanted to run cover 1, you could do the same thing and make it a 1 rat, where you're either hug rushing with the DN and dropping the safety into the rat position, or you can change it and have the safety drop on top of the running back and let the DN drop into the rat. The other thing is, if you're a quarters team, this is great. He's just a 3 dropper. If you are a cover 3 team, again, he's just dropping into wherever you want to place him into that cover 3. It doesn't really matter. So the nice thing about these is that, especially with the Mars and the Venus path, is that they're almost universal in the sense that you can run them with any coverage you want. If you're a zone, you can either attack the back or go away from the back. It really kind of opens it up to creating different rules and different presentations for you. So just explaining the path just in general, the whole point of this is to float the center. So by putting them in 5s and 3s, you're now getting everybody to kind of work out. So you're getting him to work out, he's got to work out. So what you've done is you've isolated this center. And whichever way he goes, if he goes opposite, that Mike linebacker is going to hit. So he's got to essentially find that Mike and figure out which way. And if he's just going to go ahead and slide, that's going to be a pretty nasty blitz. He's just going to end up hitting it. So the point and the objective of the Mike is to get the center's eyes on him, and as he's inserting is to clamp down on him. As that guard pushes out here, that's where we get that movement. We want that movement to go here. Everybody should be able to push here. Tackle sets out, I'm going to jab step, and then I'm going to wrap back around. The nice thing about having a 3 technique away from the pressure is that he's going to dent that guard and then kind of stair step to cop, which is contained pressure. And with the hug rush, he doesn't necessarily have to get out there right now. He's reading the back. If the back flares, then he needs to make sure that he gets out. So it ends up being really nice pressure. It ends up getting it to where you can get the center's eyes clamped down, and then this lane right here opens up really nice for this looping stunt that comes right here. So again, this is the Mars path. We'll look at the Venus path after we look at some film. So our first shot of film is going to be with the Mars path. Again, we have our jet front. Okay, it's against a tray personnel. They're going to run a 1 rat concept from this. The Mike is kind of working over here, leveraging that, and now he's going to go. You can see that the center works to the overload side. And what's nice about this is that Alabama created an overload side. So now I kind of have a 9, a 5, and a 3. So now the center's going to open up. You can even see the center, he's looking that way. So as the center looks that way, that Mike is going to work to cross his face. Okay? So as he crosses his face, you see the center engage. You have the 3 technique copping. So now the guard and the tackle are trying to build a wall on that 3 technique right there. You have the center who's latched down here. Opposite, you've got your wrap player working. You have the 3 technique denting the guard and working to a cop B to C right there. So this leaves no one for our looping stunt. The guard now, literally, as we get that contained pressure right there, he turns his eyes back and he sees the rat. And he's just staring at him. Has no idea that we have the looper right behind him, right into the quarterback's face. That's where that pressure is. Quarterback can't step into the ball, and you end up getting a throw. It's a 2-yard gain, and it's a 4th down. So let's go back to the very beginning of this and go over it. So again, we have the running back here. So we're going to have a hug rush. We're going to have a cop B to C, and we're going to have our looper. Now, with this presentation, what they've done is they've been able to give you kind of that overload, knowing that we're going to end up dropping out. So again, you get a feeling for how universal this is and how nice it is. So now you get the pressure. You end up with 4 guys on one side. You get the loop, and it's right there. Motion, snap of the ball, everybody's moving, and we get that nice alley right there for the quarterback, and the play's over, 4th down, and now we're off the field. Okay, now the Venus pad. And so Georgia, it's the clip that we're going to look at, and what they do is this is now an odd. So instead of even Mars, now they're going to run odd Venus. All odd tells them is that, look, we're gonna mug this up, and now you get your typical 5-0 pressure, and you're gonna probably get man blocking. Any kind of man blocking is going to be great with looping stunts because you're going to be able to pin guys. You're going to be able to. This tackle can't go all the way back across, so it ends up being really nice pressure, and it works the same way. If you're a 4-down front and you want to get into this, all this is just jet or even mug. That's it. And Aranda, in his pressure, he calls this Merino. It's just mug. They get into their mug alignment. The Mike walks down, and now it's the same thing. We're bringing it away from the back so we can get the hug rush. And now you're just going to insert into the A-gap. It's a stab, loop, and we still have our contained pressure. From an odd front, the nose is now going to be the quote-unquote Mike linebacker. He's just going to do it from a 0, which is what you would get from Mars. So all you've done is you've walked him down. He is now here, and it's the same path. Now, instead of putting the ends inside, you do this. If you don't like that, you can make it a regular bear front and have your Jack and your Mike walk up. And let your end, nose, and end be inside, and keep your guys kind of consistent. So what's nice about this path, again, is that it's kind of universal in terms of coverage. You can give any kind of 5-0 presentation up front. Mars is one of those where if you just give the illusion that you're just kind of in a jet front, an even front, any kind of variation of that, and then now you're gonna give that penetration right on top of that center and get his eyes. This is now what you would call simulated pressure. So Mars is the creeper. Now Venus is a simulated pressure, and you end up getting the same exact effect. Again, Venus and Mars are typically ran with cover 5 behind it, so that's why I'm giving you that. But it's the same path. It's just a different presentation. Again, being multiple, creating different defensive formations for the offense to look at, and now they have to work. But it's the same path for your kids. You could even call it the same thing and just tag it with a different front, or say, hey, this week we're not running Mars. we're going to run Mars from a mug, or we're running Venus from with the mic back. You can run it in different, and again, that's where like Mars is really good versus kind of that second and medium, second and long. You know you're getting 10 personnel, whereas you get Venus is really good on third down because it's that simulated pressure. You get creative man blocking, and so you really get that nice mix of the different looks in it. So let's look at it on film. So the same thing, and now what we've got is even mug, and now it turns into Venus. So instead of then tagging it with Mars, this is the same game, just later in the game. Instead of going Mars, now they give a Venus tag, and they know this week we're running it from an even front. So the mic just works on top of the center to give them that look. But it's the same thing. You're going to get the path away from the running back. The mic is still going to take the same path. He's just doing it from a mug alignment. Now the center is here. You've got the guard clamped here. You have the tackle clamped here. You watch the guard and the tackle over here. You have your hug rush on the running back. So he's looking right here at the running back. And you've created that nice alley for this looping stunt to attack the quarterback. So as he's going across, you can see the guard realizes, okay, that guy's not coming. I need to get my head around. But by that time, it's too late. Look at that massive path. And now we've got him inserting. So he ends up going right there. The center kind of gets him right at the last second and kind of hooks him up. But the pressure is there. Now the quarterback has to go. This is a great example of why when you're to the looping side, if you feel this pin and you feel that you get the double right here, you have to fight outside to contain that. You don't want the quarterback to be able to run from the loop. So we end up getting late. The quarterback still has to move a little bit, but it would have been nice had this guy fallen off and kept that guy here. It probably would have ended up being a sack. So it's a difference between a sack and a completion of getting that guy to just kind of work across. So then you end up getting it, again, quarterback throws it short, it's fourth down, you're off the field. So let's go back to the very beginning. Mike works down to a mug, attacks the center away from the back. We get the looper, pressure in the quarterback's face. He's got to step off and end up throwing the ball behind the first down marker. Ends up being a nice pass. So again, Mars, the mic is going to align deep. Venus, he's going to work down to a mug. Or you can create Venus as a different front tag. Mars is going to be from an even front or an over front and under front, whichever way is good for your defense. But this gives you a really nice kind of universal, something that can be run with man, can be run with zone, can be run with middle of the field closed, can be run with middle of the field open. But it's a great kind of second and medium to long, third down, medium to long call. It's good against zone runs as well because you're getting that movement, you're getting that looping, you're creating man blocking anyway. So it's good against that, and you've got somebody reading the running back that can always fold back in. So it's kind of one of those things that needs to be on your call sheet, needs to be in your defense, and regardless of whether you're a 4 down or a 3 down. In this last clip, I'm going to show you how this works at the high school level. I always like to make sure that, if I think something's really good, I'm going to run it as well. So this is a great example of that. We chose to do it out of a bare front, so we've got our end, nose in. We've walked up our jack linebacker. We've got our mic, and we're kind of in a nickel package here. So we have some DB. So again, we're in our 5-0 front. Okay, you can see I'm getting the cop right here. I'm getting the penetration in the A gap, and now I've got my looping stunt right here. We're dropping out, hugging the back, and I'm getting my cop over here as well. As you can see, this guard is looking, and he doesn't know who to block, and we end up getting the loop path right there in front of the quarterback. So I'll go back to the beginning. So you can see we have two. He's got the tight end here. He's got the back here. We're kind of in man coverage. As the ball is snapped, you see the nose pin the A gap. He does work into the B, but you can see how he tries to readjust himself, so he makes sure to kind of engage that guard, stay in that A gap. You get the cop from both of the D ends, looks really nice. And again, that nice loop right there off the edge. Nobody sees it. right there in front of the quarterback, you end up getting a sack. So this is something, again, that can be run at the college level, but also at the high school level with a lot of success. So one more time, here it is in real time. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at @the_coach_A. Make sure you hit the subscribe button here for MatchQuarters YouTube, as I'm always adding any kind of short clips or videos or clinics and all different sorts of videos. Follow me on the Substack as well, matchquarters.substack.com. You can find everything you need at matchquarters.com as well, where I have all of my old archived articles as long as links to the new ones. So make sure you hit me up. And if you have any questions or you need anything, I have a contact form on matchquarters.com, and you can always hit me up on Twitter. Have a great day.